Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny was directed by James Mangold and it stars Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. And this is the fifth Indiana Jones movie, and this is the final chapter in the Indiana Jones franchise. So in this movie takes place in 1969, probably a few years after the events of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Indiana Jones, known as Dr. Henry Jones, who's about to retire as a professor, and until he's approached by his goddaughter Helena Shaw, played by Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who comes in to tell Indy that that she's looking for this artifact that her father found in the past, and now she wants to go on this journey to find this artifact, and to tell the Nazis, who's led by none other than Dr. Waller, who's played by Mads Mikkelsen, who comes in, who's looking for the artifact as well. And now for Indy, he has to go back on his one last mission to complete this journey. And now we got our movie. And now for me, I gotta tell you guys this. When I was a little kid, I remember my first time experiencing Indiana Jones was Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and I'm not kidding, it was actually Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I remember seeing the trailers for that movie, getting all excited. I did see the movie in theaters. I did watch the movie on DVD, and I'm talking about Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I remember loving it. But rewatching Kingdom of the Crystal Skull leading up to this movie, I was thinking, well, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull could have been better. Stuff that I liked, some stuff I didn't like about that movie, but it could have been better. There was some stuff I'm like, seriously? Oh man. But no, I enjoyed Kingdom of the Crystal Skull because I grew attached to it as a kid. With this movie in particular, with Dial of Destiny, I heard some people were stating that this movie is better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and I have to agree. I actually agree that this movie was better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Now, do I like this movie? Yes. I actually love this movie, but there were some flaws I found. There were some flaws I found here and there. Now, I heard because of the critic score, I heard the critic score went down to going up to a tomato meter rating, which I'm going like really confused. I'm like, I guess some of the critics enjoyed this movie. And with the audience and the fans who watched the previous Indiana Jones movies probably fell in love with this movie as well. They're just like, yeah, don't listen to the critics, form your own opinion. And I did form my own opinion. I enjoyed this movie. And like I said, there's some stuff that I like, some stuff I they should have put some things even better in the movie. So that's probably all I can say for that. And that is it for that. So let's talk about the actors and the characters themselves. Starting off with is Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. And it's so good to see him again. This is his final mission. Now I'm like, you can't just retire as this adventurous. Yeah, speaking of retiring as a professor, you couldn't just retire as this adventurous that you've been for the past few years since the events of the last 4 movies. I'm just saying. So with Indiana Jones in here, Indiana Jones, like I said, he's retiring as professor. He reunites with his goddaughter, because he hasn't seen his goddaughter, which I believe he said he hasn't seen his goddaughter in 15 years. And I'm talking about Helena Shaw, played by Phoebe Waller-Bridge. And until he's like, well, this artifact that her father and Indy themselves found in the past, they have to find this artifact to complete it. Well, most likely, I don't know what this artifact. The artifact didn't really touch much on the trailers. So I won't say anything. You gotta watch the movie yourself. But that's all I can say for Indiana Jones. And I'm like, well, they didn't. But when I was watching Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, they didn't really explain if he had a goddaughter or not. Maybe they wanted to save that for this movie, so I get it. So Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones is really good in this movie, but there were some times they did him dirty a little bit. But I'm like, yeah, they probably did him a little bit dirty. But there was some moments that he actually kept up better. So I guess that's it for that. So that's it for Indiana Jones himself. And next up is Phoebe Waller-Bridge as Helena Shaw. And she hasn't seen Indy in a long time, for about 15 years, since she was just a child. But she wants to find this artifact that her father and Indiana Jones found in the past when the Nazis were around during their time. But she did find out also that the Nazis are following them everywhere they go. She's like, okay, they just can't give up. But from what I heard about this character right here, she was like, I feel like she was actually really good in this movie. I really think Helena Shaw is one of my favorite characters in this film. She did a pretty good job. Now the thing is that she hasn't seen Indiana Jones in a while because this is the goddaughter of Indiana Jones, and I'm going like, I didn't really know that. Well, I think all of us as fans didn't really know that either, but maybe they wanted to save that for this movie. I think that's why. But she wants to find it, like I said, she wants to find this artifact that her father found and kept for a very long time, and now she has to go on this mission with Indiana Jones to complete this artifact as well. And Phoebe Waller-Bridge is really good in this movie as Helena Shaw, and that's all I can say for Helena Shaw. And next up is Ethan Isadore as Teddy. Now, they didn't really touch on him much in the second trailer, so I'm like, yeah, he's not like, is he like Mutt Williams from Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? No. Is he like Short Round from I can't remember what Short Round is from. I think he's from the Temple of Doom. He's from Temple of Doom, I guess. I think it was Temple of Doom or The Last Crusade. I can't remember. But no, I don't think he's none of those characters. He's like his own character. Now, the only thing I can say is for Teddy right here, that he's trying to help Indy embark on this journey to complete this artifact as well. And that's all I can say for him. And what do I think of this character so far? I think I enjoyed this character. I mean, not like Mutt Williams from the last film, but he's not like Mutt Williams or Short Round from neither of those characters. He's like his own character, in my opinion, because I can tell. But with Ethan Isadore is really good as Teddy, and he didn't really bother me at all. Yeah, he didn't really bother me. He wasn't annoying. There were some times he was annoying, but there's sometimes he's just like, okay, I gotta stop being annoying. But he's not annoying. He's not he's not really annoying, and sometimes he is, and sometimes he keeps things up a little bit. I'm glad we spend more time with him in this movie, and that's all I can say for Teddy. And next up is Toby Jones as Basil Shaw, known as Helena Shaw's father in this movie. Now this is Toby Jones in this movie. I gotta say he's fine, man. Well, there were some parts there were a couple of moments. Excuse me. So with Toby Jones in this movie, I thought he was really good in this movie, but there's sometimes his character does bother me a little bit, because this is the father of Helena Shaw, and they didn't really touch much on him in the trailer. All I know is he wants to help Indy, because in the past, when the Nazis were in the time that he's in, this character right here, he wants to help Indy. He's trying to help Indy he's trying to help Indy complete this artifact as well. But he has known Indiana Jones for a while, but I'm like, they don't really explain what else happened to him, because he's only in the movie for like at least 5 minutes during the movie, or at least 3 minutes during the movie, and then gone, not in the movie anymore. And I'm like, oh man, I guess we should have been spending more time with him. But that's probably it. Toby Jones as Basil Shaw is really good in this movie, but like I said, his character sometimes annoys me a little bit. But I'm like, yeah, his character kind of annoys me. But I enjoy Toby Jones. I liked him in Captain America, the First Avenger, as Zola. But in this movie, I thought he was pretty good, but his character kind of annoys me a little bit. But that's all I can say for him. And I think that's it for Basil Shaw. And last but not least is Mads Mikkelsen as Dr. Jurgen Voller, Dr. Jurgen Voller, played by Mads Mikkelsen. I gotta say, he's fine in this movie. I mean, I'm sure most of you Indiana Jones fans have seen Nazi villains from the previous movies, but this Nazi villain feels like an actual villain. Do I like him as a villain? Yeah, but there are some times he doesn't give up. Okay, so the thing is about this character, from what happened in the past from what Indiana Jones did to him in the past, for what he did to his soldiers in the past, he's like, now I want my revenge against. He wants his revenge against Indiana Jones. Yeah, since he got a chance to reunite with Indiana Jones, he wants his revenge. Like, he wants to take the artifact. Maybe Indiana Jones took the artifact from him. Well, they didn't really touch much on him. All I know is he was an actual villain, and I like Mads Mikkelsen as a villain. The thing is about him being a villain, he was a Nazi. He wants to bring him and his Nazi crew come in. They follow Indiana Jones and his friends everywhere they go, just everywhere. I'm like, I don't know how you follow Indiana Jones and his friends everywhere they go. Can you track them? No explanation. There was no explanation for that. But I feel like Mads Mikkelsen feels like a villain. I mean, he kind of acts like Mads Mikkelsen, not like the character, but he kind of acts just like Mads Mikkelsen himself. But he is Mads Mikkelsen as an actor, but for his character, I liked him as a villain. But he's really cool as a villain. Yeah, he follows Indiana Jones wherever he goes, but I feel like, in my opinion, he's one of the best Nazi villains in the Indiana Jones franchise. He feels like an awesome villain. And Mads Mikkelsen as Dr. Voller is really good in this movie, because I don't want to unpronounce his first name again, like I did. But I think that's because of which I think Mads Mikkelsen's really good in this movie, and I think that's it for Dr. Voller, and I think that's it for the actors and the characters themselves. Let's talk about the action. The action is really good as the Indiana. You know how the action scenes are with the Indiana Jones movie, and I'm talking to the fans out there. Like those who have seen the Indiana Jones movies, I'm sure most of the action sequences, some of the action from what I heard, feels more CG, feels more real sometimes, but in the previous movies, from what I saw a little bit in some of the 3 Indiana Jones movies, they feel real. They don't feel CG technology. They're like, oh, that's fake. Oh, that's fake. Oh, that's fake. But no, in the previous Indiana Jones movie, they felt real. But for Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, I feel like they use a little bit of green screen sometimes. There's sometimes where the action sequences feel real, like they feel real. But in this movie, some of the action sequences in this movie, I really do like some of the action scenes in the movie, which I really enjoyed. But some of the action, like there's some feel like there are green screen. There's some that it feels more real, which I say for that. Now, I don't want to touch much on the artifact that they're looking for. This artifact that they're looking for, I don't even know what the. But I don't, like I said, this artifact didn't really touch much on the trailer. So I'm like, yeah, they didn't really touch much on the artifact in the trailer. And I think the artifact that they're looking for is pretty cool. But it feels like this artifact looks like it just came from a treasure box or something. But no, I'm like, well, the thing is, they don't really explain or show where they found this artifact in the past, where Indiana Jones and Basil Shaw found this artifact. And I was like, yeah, maybe I lost a little bit of track a little bit. Maybe I kind of did lose a little bit of track a little bit. But this artifact does look pretty cool. From what I heard, that they do have the de-aging version of Harrison Ford. The de-aging. I was like, so you told me the opening. I think the opening scene kind of took place after The Last Crusade. I don't even know, but I don't know. But because of the de-aging, I was like, yeah, some of the de-aging moments, the mouth comes and moves. Sometimes the mouth doesn't move, and I'm like, yeah, the de-aging does look pretty cool, but the de-aging. I feel like the CG technology on his face of the de-aging of Harrison Ford's face could have been better. And I'm like, yeah, they could have done better with it. But I'm just saying. But what's really interesting about this movie, everything in this film feels a lot more better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. The action scenes, the adventure sequences, we do discover the history. But I was like, what about the history of this artifact that y'all found? No explanation on showing. Was it found way back in the past? Was it found in the Egyptian times or something? I don't know. But I'm like, I think they could explain the origin of this artifact in the movie. Maybe, I think they did or didn't. I can't remember, but I lost a little bit of track of it. But I gotta say, most of the adventure scenes, I love the adventure scenes in this movie a lot better. Now, because throughout the entire movie, Indiana Jones and Helena Shaw, all they care about is looking for this artifact, trying to keep it away from Dr. Voller and his crew, because Dr. Voller just follows them everywhere they go. And I'm like, how? Can you track them or something? Kinda. I think he can track them like everywhere they go, and I'm like, okay, I think I do find that kind of annoying a little bit, but I get he's an actual villain, but he's just looking for this artifact, and not only that, Dr. Voller wants to get his revenge on Indy for what he did in his past. Be like, yeah, for what he did to Dr. Voller, Dr. Voller's like, I'm just gonna get my revenge on Indy, and I'm gonna find this artifact that he found, and I'm gonna take it for myself. And Indy's like, no, he needs to get to this artifact before Dr. Voller gets to it. So I think most of the adventure scenes and most of the action and a lot of things in this movie, or some things that could have been better, in this movie should have been better. There were some sequences that should have been better. There was some scenes that could have been better off. Some of the scenes probably got a little bit rushed through. And also this movie is like 2 hours long. I know this is an action movie, but this is a 2 hour. I think this movie is like 2 hours and 20 something or 30 something minutes long, and I'm like, yeah, this movie is extremely long. This movie should have been like cut short a little bit. That's why this movie could have been cut short. Well, I can understand that they not trying to rush through the main point of the movie, but the movie could have been cut short a little bit. But I guess that's it for the review for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and I hope y'all get a chance to see it. I mean, just form your own, if you want to see the movie, just after you watch the movie, just form your own opinion. But I guess that's mostly it for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and that's all I could say. And there's nothing much else to say. So be sure to like, subscribe, press notification button, follow me on Instagram, comment down below, and I'll see you on my next video. Thanks for watching.